Ping, 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 ping. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Wherever you are in the world, welcome to this episode 9. Jeez, I can't even believe we're on episode 9 already of the Investing Blueprint. We have an extra special guest. You guys are lucky. Stay tuned for Mr. Shannon Thompson. He has a wealth of knowledge. You're not going to want to miss that interview. We also are going to touch on the side bet between Andrew and I and what the latest is with that. Also, we have a word with our winner of our first annual Big Games. That was a very big success. We're glad that everybody participated. Over 109 participants in our annual Big Games, and we're looking forward to having a word with our winner. Also, we have some prizes that we're going to give away, courtesy of Orchid Nail Spa. So all you got to do is type hashtag SFX in the chat window to be entered into the live prize giveaway. We will probably have some time to touch on Bitcoin. It's dropped below 20K for the first time in a long time. And I think it's a significant level. 20K was one that was support for quite a while. And now we're going to see what happens next. And we'll try and touch on that as well in the show. And then, as always, we have our wise words of wisdom for you, just to keep you motivated, also to help you with your emotions, which is the theme of this show. I'm live and direct. My name is Mandela here in the Bermuda studio today. I really want to say a special thank you to Orchid Nail Spa. We're doing a phenomenal job with me and PJ. We have a picture or two that we're going to show you a little later. But PJ and I went to Orchid Nail Spa. We got the first class premier VIP treatment. We both got pedicures, and we'll tell you all about it in the show. So shout out to Orchid Nail Spa for sponsoring the show and for taking good care of PJ and I. They are by far one of the premier spas in Bermuda, and I highly recommend that everybody watching this show check them out. The last thing I want to say, this is not financial advice. Remember, you're responsible for your own decisions, and I got a little extra special guest here. And can you say to everybody, enjoy the show?
Enjoy the show!
Nothing that is said during this show should be construed as investment advice. Remember to conduct your own analysis and seek your own financial advisor before investing. This show is brought to you by Signature FX. Hey everybody, how you doing, Andrew? How you doing, PJ?
What's going on? What's going on, fellas?
Everything's
good.
good.
I really enjoyed the pop thing. Just for everyone's watching. So me and PJ, we're oblivious to these special intros that Mandela does. But yeah, really enjoyed that one. It's probably your best yet.
Thank you.
Definitely caught us off guard.
Yeah, I wanted it to be a surprise.
It was.
So before we get into the interview, I just wanted to see how you guys are doing. We haven't actually spoken since for a while, since Bitcoin's made a move. Crypto's really been in the headlines. Just wanted to kind of see how you guys were feeling, what you were looking at, and how everything's been going.
So, well, I'm feeling pretty smug, to be honest. So. No, my joke is, listen, we've been tracking it since 42K, and we're trading below the 200 EMA at the moment. We broke through the 2017 high on Bitcoin, and all the other altcoins are following. So I don't see much support at the moment. I see 12,500 as pretty weak. And as you can see, guys, in my description for today, I think we could be seeing a 6K Bitcoin pretty soon. So that's what I'm looking at the moment, and we'll see how this plays out. But what I will say is, I think we have some fantastic buying opportunities coming up towards the end of 2022. I'm definitely looking at them.
Yeah, I think 6K sounds low to me. It sounds really low. But hey, you've been right before, and anything's possible. I think the momentum is extremely strong right now, and markets always overshoot. So whatever you think it's going to be, it's usually going to overshoot either the upside when we're in a bullish trend or to the downside in a bearish trend like we are now. What about you, PJ? What are you kind of looking at?
Yeah, well, again, cash, right? Cash is a position as well. So I'm just staying patient, just trying to build up some extra cash to dump in at, see if I could catch another capitulation. I don't think we're fully over yet. And like Andrew, I do see it going down possibly a little lower. I'm with you with that pub. That six is abnormally low. But again, we've been shocked before. You know, it's nobody has a magic crystal ball to be able to tell exactly where it's gonna be. But just following the historical patterns before, I don't think Bitcoin's ever dropped below its previous. I could be wrong, but its
No, you're
previous
right.
all-time high. So,
No, you're right. That's right.
um,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's 2018. If it does, I think it might be like a little flash
Yeah.
crash, and then get bought up real quick. But yeah, I'm focusing on just cash right now. Like
Okay.
I'm just
Okay. Okay.
trying to get in so I could scoop up some liz.
Yeah.
So, and the great thing about that now, what we're talking about, it really leads into our next guest about controlling your emotions. Now, like I've always said this, and I've been saying it for months. There's a lot of an emotional attachment to crypto. And people want to argue with me about price action. Listen, I don't control the markets. It's just my opinion, and the price will take the direction. Of said buyers, said sellers. It's going to happen. So controlling your emotions, I think it's really key and it's really important. And that's why I think today's guest, I think it's perfect for what's going on in the crypto world right now.
Yeah, without further ado, thanks for that, Andrew. Let's get over to the interview with Shannon Thompson. Special guest, Shannon Thompson. Thank you for making time to meet with us today. How you doing today, Shannon?
I'm fabulous. Thank you. Thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate it. You're doing a good thing.
I know that you're really heavily into investing. For anybody who doesn't know, how did you get interested in investing in the first place?
All right. So my investment journey started years ago. It started, as Paul would know, I used to go Gilbert, and then my mom shipped me away and I went to school in Alabama. And I think it was my junior year in high school in an economics class that we joined what's called the Alabama SMS, stock market simulation. And, so a group of us, we went into this competition, and basically we were buying and selling and trading and whatnot. And we were given a stochastic 200 grand to trade, and I think we doubled it or something along that. I can't remember what was the exact gain, but I think that put the bit in my mouth where I was like, because, like many of us from a young age, I learned to appreciate money. And I was like, man, if I can double up and all I've done is click a few buttons, then, this is something that, I can be really interested in and something that I can go for.
Money is always a great motivator. Yeah. So now fast forward to 2022, what are your favorite assets to trade?
Easily crypto.
Yeah, I thought you.
Yeah. So I've traded different coins and stocks, local stocks, but Bitcoin, Ethereum, anything crypto related. I definitely have an affinity toward. Not right now. Go outside away from me, okay? Go get the iPad. Go get it.
That's perfect. That's okay. That's life right there. What sort of things would you suggest? I guess number one, getting started, and then number two, what sort of advice would you give me to help me to be successful?
If you're new to trading, I would say number one, develop a strategy. Strategies are a dime a dozen. You can find them online, and you need to figure out what type of trader you want to be. So what I mean by that is how frequently do you want to trade? Do you want to be a spot trader? Do you want to be a day trader? Do you want to trade futures? Want to trade options? There's tons of different of ways that you can approach trading. I would recommend, if you're a novice, to just start out spot trading, i.e. buy low, sell high, buy low, sell high. Once you get into or you develop a strategy where you can consistently win, buying low and selling high, then you can start spreading your wings into some of the more risky endeavors. If you're getting into crypto, I would say find an exchange. We were talking earlier, and I was saying that CEX.io is one of the exchanges that I use. It's a popular exchange here in Bermuda because people can get their money on and off the exchange. I do a lot of trading also on Binance. I use Binance mostly because it has so many different coin pairs, markets, and also the liquidity in the markets. Mind you, I'm not trading millions of dollars, but I don't want to get to the point where I'm trying to make a sell and there's not enough liquidity in the market to, fill my orders. Also, I would say to surround yourself with people who are into trading. Growing up in Alabama, they have a saying: if you want to be a doctor, you hang out with doctors. If you want to be a lawyer, you hang out with lawyers. So similarly, if you want to trade, don't hang out with your mates who are, not doing what you want to be successful at. You need to surround yourself with individuals, because there's always an opportunity to grow and to learn and to, add arrows to your quiver.
I think there's a lot to be said for somebody who somebody who you trust, or a group of people that you can kind of bounce ideas off on. And I find with social media, they tend to focus on all the positive things, all the the gains and the wins and all the cash. Mm-hmm. But when the dark days come and let's say you've just taken a big loss, you need somebody to kind of just vent to.
Yeah.
Or just about it.
No, but that's a good point, because, the fact of the matter is that 95% of investors fail. And the reason why they fail is it's related to emotion, and if you don't have a circle where you can, Chuck's, you're married, if you don't have a circle where you can talk to and express some things, then it can get ugly for you fast. And at the end of the day, you don't want to go to your 9 to 5 or your business or however you generate your money and then go and take it and lose it in no man's land in the market. That can leave you with a real empty feeling. So, and to add to that, so I have a trading journal that I use, and I log all of my entries and all of my exits. So before I even get into a trade, I know at what stage I'm going to get out if the crap starts to hit the fan.
Right.
I also know where I'm going to take profit, or at least on the technicals, because some trades I look at technicals, at what levels I'm going to take profit at. So, there's no guesswork. And then I stick to that. I don't bait and say, okay, well, the price is dropping, but it may come back up again. No, get out, rinse and repeat, start over, and wait till my strategy tells me, okay, now is another time to buy. Because you do get false signals, but it's all about, absorbing that loss in an appropriate manner so that you can bounce back the next time.
It's more systematical than, throw something up against the wall and hoping it sticks,
Definitely, yeah. Because what I've heard from a lot of young investors is, oh yeah, I'm going to buy some Bitcoin, and then, in a couple of years it's going to be worth $1 million. And, I do believe that Bitcoin appreciates with time, but look at our last bear market. It lasted a couple of years, from the 2018 high, and then literally the market went sideways and down for about 2 years. So, if you're a long-term investor, that's okay. But if, that's your last $1,000, you don't want to sit on that $1,000 for 2 years hoping that it's just going to go up. You want to be more intentional about when you get in and when you get up.
Gee, so with crypto, have you had any sort of fundamental strategies that you strategies, I guess you could call them, that you find beneficial?
Yeah, good question. So I've tried a number of different things. Literally, I've made every mistake in the book. Believe you me, I've lost tens of thousands of dollars in the market. But I have come across a strategy which I believe is beneficial. So Mandela and I were talking earlier, and I was saying that I have two different strategies, two different portfolios that I really manage. I have a spot trading portfolio where I'm just buying low and selling high. And then I have a futures trading portfolio, which is a little bit more risky. But with my spot trading, I'll focus on that for those who are just getting into the game. I use what's called confluence. I use 3 indicators: the stochastic RSI, the RSI, and the money flow index. And when these indicators hit certain levels, I consider buying. I look for support and resistance in the chart on the 1 or 2 day charts, and then I consider buying. And then on the opposite side of that, I sell when those indicators get up to a certain level. So it's very systematic. It's very, I look at a chart. I even have it on my TradingView account where it highlights it when all 3 of those indicators get to a certain point. And I have 3 categories of buys. I have a good buy, great buy, and incredible buy. And it's based on how low the market actually goes. And sometimes if I'm looking at a 1 or 2 day chart, my trades can take up to 180 days to mature. But within that 180 days, sometimes you can get, an easy 1, 2, 3, 400%. So, I'm happy waiting that long to get a good trade in.
I think I want to jump right into the coin pairs conversation. So with your coin pairs that you're trading, I'm assuming you're trading probably things against Bitcoin or Ethereum. Are those two something that you believe in long term, or is other trading pairs that you focus on?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I believe Bitcoin and Ethereum are going to be along for the long haul, fundamentally speaking. So I don't have any issues trading those. If you go on Binance and you look at the other markets, it has all the coins that you can trade versus Bitcoin and Ethereum. With Ethereum, it's a little bit more risky because Ethereum actually the last couple of years has outperformed any other coin. So if you try to trade a coin versus Ethereum, you're getting into a very sticky place and it could be dangerous. You can take some losses. But if you look at Bitcoin, I like to trade Bitcoin versus Link. We were talking about Link earlier, and me and Link have a love-hate relationship. But Bitcoin versus any coin in the top 10, top 15, I would look at and see how it's performing. And, sometimes within 20, 30 days, 40 days, you can make 100% easily on a trade, and you can double your Bitcoin that way. And to me, that's the fastest way to legitimately double or increase your Bitcoin holdings, rather than just trading it versus the natural cycles that Bitcoin goes through versus a stable coin or the dollar. A lot of people want fast money, and that's nice, but I would recommend look at the larger time frames. Look at the 1 day chart, look at the 2 day chart, look at the weekly chart, so you can understand the big picture. Once you understand the big picture, then you can work your way down to the lower time frames. But especially if you're getting into it, look at the big picture. I can't emphasize that enough. Look at the bigger swings in the market.
Sometimes, I guess, depending on how it looks in that specific trade, you would put your stop loss at a 20% profit. And I wanted to just highlight that, because worst case scenario, if the things go, everything turns against you, you're still cashing in that 20% no matter what, but you are willing to let some of them ride. I think that is, like, for me, that's one of the key secrets that not a lot of people talk about.
Yeah, stop loss is your friend.
Yeah.
I would recommend setting one as soon as you get in. But the thing is that with futures is that the market is so volatile. It's so volatile. So if you're trading 10x, the market goes down 2%, you're down 20%. So then you're like, okay, you start sweating. And some people have a poker face. I've done it before where, I let it go down 60, 70%. I'm like, yes, the market's going to change. The market's going to change. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But, it's just one of those things. But if, you want to preserve your currency and your assets, then I would definitely say set your stop loss. If you take that loss, just, get over it, start over.
Talking about stop losses, and then I'll pass it over to you, PJ.
Because
I know you got some questions. Because Shannon just mentioned stop losses. So you said 6%. So the 6% you were referring to, that's of your capital, I'm guessing. And then on the downside, or for your stop loss, what's your stop loss rule?
So my stop loss rule is that number one, I look for support and resistance. There's a support and resistance is everything in trading. It may be support based on a moving average. It may be support based on just drawing straight lines on a chart and seeing how many touch points you have. So generally with my strategy, I'm catching relative lows in the chart. Within those lows, I would look for the first level of support under that. So then I would say, okay, well, if there's support here, how far down is it? So what is the downside risk? Okay, so if this goes down 5% and I'm using 5% leverage or 5x leverage, then okay, so I can lose 25% on this trade. So I would always put my stop loss just a little bit below that support. So if it goes down to it and it touches it and then bounces back up, then I'll still be okay. My perspective also changed because when I first got into it, I had the mindset that I can make this much money. And now, as I've, grown and matured in the space a little bit more, now I look at it like, man, I can lose this much money. So it's, it's kind of a, a give and take, where now I'm more cautious about preserving. And like I said, I'm not even a millionaire yet. So I don't have, tons of capital laying around. It's not like, I still have a mortgage and bills like everybody else every month. So, I'm not, riding high on somebody's yacht. Don't get that, mentality. But for what little bit I do have, I don't want to lose it. So it's about riding that fine line between what can I make with what I have without going backwards.
So with 2022, we're almost we're halfway there. Anything exciting you're looking forward to for the rest of the year?
Well, a couple things. Number one, I actually like a bear market. I like a bear market because when everybody's talking bad about crypto, this is where you need to gobble it up. I'm just loading up. It's a buyer's market. Like, don't get it twisted. Right now, we are in a buyer's market. Some people are trying to sell to preserve whatever they had. No, get over that. Whatever Bitcoin you have, just hold on to it and go from there. It's a chart. It's an interesting chart that I was looking at that I saw somebody on YouTube actually post, and I backtested it, and it's pretty accurate. Called the Gaussian channel. The Gaussian channel on the 5-day chart. And whenever price action goes below the Gaussian channel, which it is now, these represent some of the best buying opportunities that you'll ever experience during crypto. And when this Gaussian channel turns back green on the 5-day chart, then historically it's indicated that the bear market is ending or it's over. So, I'm waiting on that to see when the sentiment is actually going to change. I don't know exactly how low it's going to go. I posted something in our group chat about a bear flag some months back, and I set a price target around 24K. So, at the time, people were like, no way it's going to go that low. Now we're at 27, and they're like, crap,
it could go lower.
Yeah, it may go lower. There's support. Look at the weekly time frame. There's support around 14K.
Yeah, so, I remember you posting that too. I remember the day you posted it, and I was like, I think we were above 30. We were like 37, 38, something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, maybe I should put on a little short. I think I did put a short position.
You were killing it.
Yeah. No, but that was actually, I went short also when it broke out of that channel. And, made a few 100% on the trade. And it was like, that was a good one. But yeah, so, and this is the benefit that I'm talking about of looking at the larger time frames, because you get perspective and there's less false signals. It may take more time, and I know we live in a microwave society where we want everything now, but sometimes these things do take time to play out. But human behavior and psychology that pushes the market, it really repeats itself over and over again. So, I was looking at it and I was like, hey, well, this is what it is. It's a big bear flag forming. We're going down. It's just a matter of when and how long. So, if we stay in this space, like I said, I'll just keep loading, keep adding up. I'm not getting cute. I'm not, trying to catch the very bottom. I don't know when that bottom is. But I just have staggered buy orders every $1,000. So as it goes down, my buy orders get set. They get hit. So
yeah. Nice. For you, what is the hardest thing for trade and investing, or what are some of the hardest things that you're working through?
The hardest thing I would say is controlling your emotion. Emotion is the biggest money killer. Right now there are very few people screaming to buy. Everybody's saying, the market's going down, it's doom and gloom, get out, and like I said, Ben, you need to change it. Look at it from the other side of the spectrum. The markets are low right now. They're low. Buy, gobble it up. Warren Buffett, I wrote on my little notes for this, I'm a real nerd, my notes for this talk. Warren Buffett said, be greedy when others are fearful, and fearful when others are greedy. And that reflects my sentiment exactly of where the market is now. Like, don't get cute and try to time the bottom. Like, nobody knows exactly where the bottom is going to be. Like, somebody may get lucky and call an indicator and a price, but at the end of the day, if somebody knew exactly where the bottoms and the tops were, they would break the market literally.
Yeah.
Like if you knew, that's like doing crown and anchor to make it relative, and you know what's going to be rolled next, you would break the table. You take everybody's money. So nobody knows exactly what's going to happen and how it's going to play out. So, we have to methodically extract what we can from the market and be able to do it consistently. And if we can, then we'll win. We will win. And, it's very doable to be financially independent. And, there's no reason why you can't take your family of 4 away and fly first class or, even get a private jet. There's no reason why you have to work for somebody else. At the end of the day, growing up in Alabama, they used to have another expression. The old timers used to tell me this. The only difference between the rich and the poor is information.
I love that. That's serious.
Yeah, we have information at our fingertips. So now it's just about cultivating it and maturing it to the point that our children can work differently than we worked. I was lucky. My parents didn't go to college. Well, they did, but we were all in school around the same time. Like within like a 3 or 4 year span, my sister graduated, my mom and myself. So, and other people have their similar stories. Mm-hmm. So, we're not coming from, and I'm just generally speaking, some of us may come from generational money, and parents may have taught them a lot of these things growing up, but a lot of us don't. And we're figuring this thing out as we go. So as we figure this thing out and we pass that information along, hopefully we can change not just our lives, but generations to come.
When it comes to exchanges and being able to protect what you've gained, like your capital preservation, what sort of things do you do, or what do you find helpful in terms of making sure that your funds are there and accessible?
So I've taken some losses. I was telling you earlier that I lost 2.5 Bitcoin holding it on an exchange. And the exchange went out of business. Next thing you know, I went back to it and the site was down, and my 2.5 Bitcoin at the time, was just gone, vanished in midair. And it was hard, but I'm glad it didn't happen when prices are where they are now. Back then, the price was around like 6,000 or something, and I was still angry. But
of course.
But imagine if it would have happened when prices were at 60,000. That would have been a different level of anger. Yeah. So with respect to preserving your income, use a hardware wallet. It's the safest way to hold and be the custodian of your own coins. At the end of the day, this is what differentiates crypto from other spaces, from any financial institution, is that it's a primary market where you are the custodian of all of your assets, and the most secure way to hold those is on a cold wallet. So take it off the exchange, put it wherever you need to put it. Write down your private keys and all the relevant information that you have. Put it in a safe place. Mm-hmm. And whenever you make your buys and sells, you can put your coins back on the exchange, and then when you sell it, take it all off again. So I'll tell you a true story. We were, a few fellas and myself, were teaching some classes on, well, not teaching, but we were showing some people how to enter and get out of the market at the Mariners Club one day, across from Mad Hatter's. Mm-hmm. And this guy came in there, true story, Bermudian guy, and he was a bus driver, and he was going through a divorce. They had money problems in their household and all that good stuff. And he came to us. He was almost in tears. He was like, look, my wife's taking everything. I'm losing my house. He was just like, look, I bought these Bitcoin years ago. I don't even know how to access them. He's like, how do I sell this? He was literally a millionaire and didn't know it because he had bought these Bitcoins early, and it was sitting on his hardware wallet, and he didn't even know how to access it or whatnot. So, we helped him get the money. I'm sure he didn't. I didn't follow him after that. I haven't even caught up with the guy. I'm sure he quit his job, or, I'm sure he didn't tell his wife he was trying to leave him, but,
baby, come back.
Yeah.
We can work it out.
But yeah, man, this is the power of the space that we're in. This is a huge wealth transfer. There's only enough Bitcoin in the world for each individual to earn 0.0023 of a Bitcoin. Think about that. So mathematically speaking, there's only enough Bitcoin for everybody in the world to have 0.0023. Let's say if in 20 years from now, you're still sitting on a half a Bitcoin, which is very doable in today's world, or even 0.01 of a Bitcoin. You're going to be in the 1% in some capacity. So this space is very immature at this stage. It's still developing, and truth be told, it's the next generation of fintech. From when we used to trade gold to a teller at the bank to ATM machines to credit cards to now we can actually be that custodian. It's very possible that 0.0023 could be a life-changing amount in 20, 30 years from now.
All right, Shannon, if somebody wants to get in contact with you, what are some of the ways that people can connect?
Awesome. So it's hot off the press. IslandTradingBDA on Instagram. I'm gonna try to fill that page up with advice and market trends and things of that nature. So if you want to inbox me a question or anything like that, you seriously consider getting into the space, just reach out to me at IslandTradingBDA on Instagram, and we can go from there.
Cool, man. I've really enjoyed the interview, Shannon. You've opened my eyes to a whole lot of stuff. We're trying to continue to share the knowledge, and today you exceeded expectations multiple times.
Awesome.
So, thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it. And like I said, I love this space. I can talk about it for hours, literally. I would have stayed on longer today if it wasn't for my little bambinas running around. But duty calls. Yeah. Anyway, it was nice seeing you also, Paul.
Yes, thanks for coming on. I always learn a lot. I mean, I took your little master class, what was it, a year or so ago with the Bitcoin futures.
That's
crazy. Times flew by, but you're always a wealth of knowledge. So thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, no problem.
Say, Shannon.
Thanks, guys. It was a pleasure.
Sorry, I'm on mute. I'm speechless. A lot to unpack there. A lot to unpack. Phenomenal interview. So much to unpack there from Shannon. I think we should get him back on as soon as possible. Yeah,
100%, guys. Excellent interview. Really enjoyed what he said, and agree with like 99.9% of it. Something I think we've been chanting ourselves. Regarding Bitcoin, how we trade cryptos. Just thought it was really, really good, and some of the knowledge he dropped is fantastic. So, you guys' opinion, but I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I did as well. I mean, some of the things that stuck out to me. So he is a numbers guy. I think his background is in numbers. I don't know exactly what it is. I know he's focused very much on trading recently on the side. His wife and my wife are both lawyers, and they both work for the same firm. That's how I met him coming out of school. And then I had heard little rumblings that he was deep into trading, and basically got in contact with him. PJ's been saying lots of good things about him. For me, the big thing for me is he mentioned just having the ability to have a system, having the ability to try your best to control your emotions by having some sort of systematic program, some systematic checklist that prevents you from getting really, really happy when you're winning and really, really depressed when you're losing. I don't know how you guys feel, but that's what stood out for me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I feel like his systematic approach enables him to get small gains, but consistently. And I think a lot of traders will get, lured into the idea of these massive bags in the beginning. And I think, in doing so, that's taking on that high risk. You definitely take on some high risk for the downside as well. So his little bites that he could consistently get is definitely the approach that I think will be the most beneficial.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
for me, picking up on that, I noticed, like Shannon said, he's lost a few dollars trading, and I think that's your best lesson when trying to become a trader. And it's the same for me now. I'm actually numb to the dollar value when I'm trading. I'm actually looking for the support or resistance. I'm looking for that next level, so to speak, or I'm looking for my my percentage or my points or pips, whatever you guys call it. So for me, yes, it's just detach yourself from the dollar value, detach yourself from the money, and I think then that really helps the trading progress. The thing I like to add as well is it's like people's opinions as well. You must have your trading plan, you must have your strategy, and stick to that. Your strategy will not fit in with everyone else. Because everyone else got different opinions, and everyone else has different ways of trading. So it was a brilliant interview. It was really good. Really enjoyed it, and I'm gonna watch it straight back after this.
Yeah.
It's definitely great to hear. Sorry, go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, you go, P. I was just gonna say it's definitely one to watch more than once. But
Yeah. And I was just saying it's great to have one guest that echoes similar sort of experiences that we've had, because it almost validates our observations and our theories that we've come across. Everybody's got different methods of approaching the same sort of task with trading, but he identified decide on what trading style you would like to be, whether you're long term or short term. And I think that's really important to separate. Do I have my long term bags? Well, leave those, let my emotions be out of that one, and then I would focus on being more methodical in the a smaller account that you could try to trade and take your profits over into your long-term account. It's definitely beneficial to approach it that way.
Yeah, most definitely. I agree. I think there's a lot of live people in the chat, I think, that have been posting. I just wanted to say thanks to everybody joining us today. Lots of positive feedback on the interview with Shannon. Just so everybody knows, we did record the interview with Shannon a few days ago, so we can go back and have a look at those posts a little later.
Just one thing for myself. So if you're in the chat right now, if you can post hashtag SFX, and then we're going to enter you guys into a prize draw for a gift today. So if you can do that right now. So we got Kale, Rosemary, Omar, Matt, Orchid Spa. I ignore myself, but there's a couple of people in the chat now. So do quickly do hashtag SFX, and we'll get you guys into the draw right now for a prize.
Yeah. We got a comment here from Omar James saying Shannon is the guy. Fully agree with that.
Brilliant.
Absolutely. And thanks for the post from Rosemary. Thank you for your support. And we have lots more like this to come. That's for sure. Q Hustle, just shout out to Q Hustle. He's one of our in lots of our groups. So thanks, Q, for joining us today. We did have a few questions. I don't know if you guys want to have a look at those while we wait for people to post in the group.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so the first one I see here, this is from Matt. So he says, do you guys think decoupling Bitcoin and stocks will happen? If so, why and when? I can take that one first, and you guys can always join in later. I think we've been talking about the correlation between Bitcoin specifically and the NASDAQ. I think, PJ, I think you said the correlate. Oh, somebody told me recently the correlation is around 90%. So if Bitcoin's up one day, NASDAQ's up that same day. I don't know when a decoupling will happen. I know there is a philosophy that Bitcoin is supposed to be slightly independent or move its own ways, independent from stocks. But for whatever reason, investors have been pushing their money into stocks and Bitcoin at the same time and taking the money out of stocks and Bitcoin at the same time, especially tech stocks. So, I mean, that's probably $1 million question. When will it happen? If I knew, I don't know if we would have this show. Probably be doing a lot of other things. But no, in all seriousness, I don't know. I think something dramatic's going to happen. And I do see this correlation continuing for the near term.
Yeah, same here, totally agree. But I think we are going to see a separation when Bitcoin gets regulated. So I know a lot of people within the crypto world, the reason why we got into crypto was to decentralize. It was to get away from, the central banks, get away from the dollar. But it's never going to happen. I'm going to hang my hat on it. I'm going to say it. Cryptocurrency is going to get regulated. It's going to get regulated from, from the US, the European Bank, the Bank of England. It's going to happen. And maybe then we'll see, first of all, we'll see the true value of crypto once it gets regulated. And then from there, then we may see a separation from some of the stocks or from the US 30 and things like that. But it's going to happen. And then we will see the true value of cryptocurrency.
Yeah, just to piggyback on that point, Andrew, with regards to regulation, I think that the topic of discussion right now, which is on everybody's mind in the crypto world, is the stablecoin issue. And I think there were analysis or even articles out there which has a big question mark on USDT or Tether.
Yeah.
And they've shown that every time the Tether money printing machine per se, because a lot of people are uncertain about Tether's actual backing. It's supposed to be a one-to-one backing. As you can see, last time I checked on CoinMarketCap, it wasn't a one-for-one pegging, so there's a bit of doubt there. But every time they've had some sort of hearing of to answer if they've had any sort of or to prove that they have a one-to-one backing, then they don't show up. So I think if they are the next sort of UST sort of situation, like what happened with Terra Luna, then I think that could drastically affect Bitcoin, and then I think might be the catalyst for decoupling. And it might bring, with that, I think regulation is all tied into that, and it might be a new king, based off of that sort of reason, but to be seen.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I think right now we can go ahead and do the prize giveaway. Before we do actually do the official prize giveaway, I wanted to thank the sponsors. Orchid Nail Spa. PJ and I had the privilege to go there. They have an amazing facility. And PJ and I sat in those chairs right there in that picture. And we really enjoyed ourselves. I think probably the most fun I had during a lunchtime in a long time. PJ and I both got full pedicures. And I don't know about you, P, but I would like to go back and make another appointment.
Yeah, sure. The foot massage was nice. The experience was nice. I'll definitely do it again. That's my first time too. It's not something I normally do, but it was a cool experience.
To be honest, P, I believe it was your first time, but I said earlier, Mandela looks too comfortable there. That looks like it. That looks like your spot, bro.
Yeah.
See your name behind the chair.
He told me he is an international pedicure enthusiast. So I said, okay. This one rated pretty high on that.
Actually, Orchid Spa just messaged you. Apparently, Mandela's got a club card or something. So he's in there way too much.
So in all honesty, I have gotten a pedicure before outside of Bermuda. This was my first Bermuda pedicure. It was my best pedicure that I've ever had. And the PJ was a great sport. He kept asking, "Is this normal? Is this normal? Is it supposed to hurt?" The funny thing is, PJ had a short back at that time as well.
Okay. And the toes still shining,
Yeah, my toes are buffed.
Yeah. But mine too.
Probably just lost. People were when we probably just lost half of them through that. But anyway,
all right, let's get over to the hashtag SFX. So last chance, last call for anybody who hasn't put hashtag SFX already. We're gonna do the draw, and you will win a mini pedicure courtesy of Orchid Nail Spa. So without further ado, let's do this. Good luck to everybody. I think we have a few people who have posted. There we go. And And the winner is Andrew. Well done. Well done, Andrew. Congratulations.
Yay!
Well done. You've
Completely random, not fixed at all.
Yeah. But guys, you got to be in it to win it. I'm sorry.
Right.
So,
Right.
guys, when I come to Bermuda, maybe this year in the summer, is my voucher still valid?
Yes, it will be. We can just triple check with Orchid Spa. I think that's fine. I think they have no expirations on their gift certificates, so we'll see you soon. Now you have to come to Bermuda. Now you gotta come.
Yeah.
No excuses. I think we had the side bet next. I don't know if you guys want to move over to that. We had the side that we've been looking at for the last month or so. So PJ, I don't know if you want to take it away. I can put up the stuff for you here.
Sure. So in the beginning, Mandela and Andrew are going head to head. We have a side bet that we closing at June 20th, and we will see who's right, who's higher or lower of $230. And let me just double check. It's pretty close. We're at 247 at the moment, and at the moment Andrew's there, but we'll see how the trend continues in a few days.
Yeah. I think it's going to be close. I think the price that you picked was a good price, and the trend is down. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to it. Okay, next up I have Andrew. Did you want to say anything about the side bet? You're good. Okay, you don't want to jinx it. I see. You're winning now, so if everything stays the same, you'll be good. All right, next up is the big games. So we had our first annual big games. It was a lot of fun. In the end, we had 109 people participating. PJ and I were in there. I learned that I'm not a day trader, and I had a lot of fun actually just playing around with the game itself. But this is all about the winners, and we had Shane Coles who won the competition. We actually have a word that we wanted to just get Shane to say a little something after winning the first annual big game. So let's get over to Shane, and then we can talk a little bit about it.
Every day I'd wake up, rethink everything I've got in the portfolio. Each position, does it really keep making sense to stay short, every day? I think there's got to be a rally in here somewhere, and there was. I missed it. Cost me like 20%. I had a huge lead at that point, but that 20% was pretty much all my cushion. And from that point on, it became a real race where I felt like any given morning, you could wake up and 2 or 3 people would have really good days and get very close. And I kind of ran out of great days about halfway through the competition. I just kind of had to stay on top. So I'd say my advice, investing in general, is if you can find an event that makes sense and you can understand it, then simplify it further to what you really can master and make it very easy to follow. Oh, people are going to start going outside. People are going to start heating homes. Oh, there's about to be a war in Europe. Oh, what's that mean? Well, it pretty much means oil. And that's where a lot of my thinking was. And then knowing that we have inflation, the central banks really kind of have one card they like to play, and that's raise rates. And the big killer on these rate raises is going to be these tech companies, these super high growth companies, where they just constantly reinvesting into the business as fast as they can. They're getting these cheap debt. You know, I think Amazon and the like, these guys are issuing bonds at 1-2% in the short term, and 2.5-3% for 3 and 5 year stuff. That's basically free money if you're able to turn your book around pretty quick. And so if all of a sudden inflation comes roaring, what are they going to do? Well, they're going to raise rates. And that's going to make these guys have to slow down a little bit. It's going to increase the discount rate on your equities. It's also going to increase their borrowing costs, which is going to lower ultimately their free cash flows. Interest expenses are going to come up. So that was kind of my idea there. So I'd say whenever you're thinking about it, that's my advice for people next time. hardest thing about the competition, staying focused on things outside of the competition is probably the hardest part. It was a lot of fun. We had 109 entrants, which I thought was real cool. It's great that quite a few people from the office were in there as well. But ultimately, you got to focus on life outside of a fantasy stock competition. And so that was pretty cool. I think I could only do it about once a year. I don't do fantasy sports or anything like that. So, but the hardest part was focusing on the rest of your life. I think the best thing about the competition is it's fun to be competitive. Competition in itself is the best thing. I thought it was great, and I'm looking forward to the second annual competition. Take care. Thanks, guys.
Congratulations again, Shane. And we have down the bottom, we have the top 10. So a really big congratulations to Khalees Washington, PJ. I think, I don't know if you want to speak to that. Yeah, Krista as well. Krista did really well. I want to set the record straight. For those of you who don't know, Krista is my lovely, beautiful wife. And she did all her trades by herself. And I don't think she gets enough credit. I did kind of tell her what the theme was for the day, risk on, risk off, but I never touched her phone. I never looked at her app. She came 5th. So very, very proud of Krista as well.
That's well done.
Yeah.
I didn't have any assistance, and it's great to know that our partners did better than us.
Yeah,
I just want to say, guys, going forward from today, you two get fired. And it's going to be myself, Krista, and Khalees, on my show. Okay, so you guys are happy, to work on the tech in the background, graphics, but it's been nice working with you guys.
They showed us up. I have a list here. Of all the reasons why I didn't do well, but I won't mention that list.
So what I will say, guys, is first of all, congratulations to everyone who took part. Well done, Mandela, PJ, for organising it. It's a big effort. It's a big competition. I didn't expect it to blow up to 109 participants. That's really good. And 17%, guys. That's an incredible return. So
he was up 35% at one point.
Anyone's pushing over 5%. That's unbelievable trading. It's really, really good. So well done to everyone. And the results speak for themselves. And Shane, well done. Congratulations.
Yeah, well done to Shane. I think one thing I wanted to say was when Shannon was talking, he said that he started investing through a simulator, and that's exactly what this game is. So I think there's a lot to be said for using sort of stock simulation apps. It helps you to not only get comfortable and confident with investing and trading, but it also gets you to place orders, helps you to manage your risk, and the most important thing, the theme of the show, controlling your emotions. It's a lot easier when you're doing it with fake money, but at least you get in the habits of it.
Yeah, it's great. Build a great habit.
Yeah. So the next topic we had up was wise words of wisdom. And I wanted to just say, other than just sort of being able to control your emotions, I think one of the things I noticed is I made the biggest mistakes after I was most emotional about something, after a big loss or after maybe something significant in my work life or my family life. So just being conscious of that and maybe, thinking about taking some time to write down what you're thinking or trying different techniques to just be conscious of your emotions. Because if you ignore them, they're not just going to go away.
Yeah,
no, agreed.
Yeah, and I echo that. All of my biggest losses, not even most, all of my biggest losses have resulted from an emotional state of mind. And, afterwards you say, man, why did I react right then and there? I could have saved or mitigated a lot of that loss by just being calm. So definitely it's fitting to say, there's definitely a correlation between emotions, being emotional, and losses for sure.
Yeah. Andrew?
And, I suppose for me, just going to quickly share my screen. If that's
go for it. Got it. There we go.
and that's it for me. So greatest success comes from having the freedom to fail. And for me, guys, I just going back to what Shannon said, I have failed, and agree with demo counts. Demo counts or virtual trading is fantastic for building your strategy and what you're going to do. But I think the pain of losing real dollars really wises you up. Yeah, and it makes you a lot more loss savvy, or risk adverse, for sure. And but just fail. That's what I say to people: fail hard. Don't be afraid to fail. Yeah, just learn your lessons from the failure. Okay, and that's the way you'll grow. And the other thing when it comes to trading as well, if you've got your strategy and you win it and you're confident in it, stick to your strategy. A lot of people, I said it earlier, a lot of people will have different opinions and different strategies that don't fit into your frame of mind. Just remember, within trading, we're all individuals. And what works for one person might not work for the next. Yeah, and that would be my words to everyone. So Mandela and I, we've been together many years, but we both have two totally different ways of trading. But I say we're both pretty successful in what we do, but we have different strategies. So just do what works for you and embrace it, enjoy it, and don't be sidetracked by other people's opinions.
Yeah, well said. I think we can have one last look at the chat just to make sure that everybody in the chat has gotten their due. So people are really enjoying what we're saying. And just a reminder to everybody: feel free to share the posts and let people know what we're doing. We're trying to do as best as we can with what we have. So thank you for the feedback also. So just so you are aware, PJ, it was normal to feel like you wanted to laugh. I actually did. I have very sensitive feet. I don't think I've ever said that out loud. So there was a few times when, if anybody's just tuning in, we're talking about pedicures for guys.
Yeah, I was sitting next to Tickle Me Elmo there.
We could change the subject to the expiration. So Andrew, whenever you come to Bermuda, you'll be good. We'll take you there and get some pictures as well. I think that's it. Yeah. All right, guys. Unless there's anything else.
That's it.
Okay.
Thanks so much. I'll see you soon.
Cool.
All right, thanks, guys.
Bye.
All right, thank you. All right, see you guys later.